Sure. Coming off a bye week, which we really needed, and kind of re-energized us. And that kind of really did a week ago. Had 3 practices, and then for the first time let our players off for the whole weekend. First time since probably August 4th, and gave us a chance to take a deep breath before we dive back in the pool and have a chance to go over to Baton Rouge and play a real quality opponent in LSU, who presents some real challenges for us. A prideful program with a lot of history and really good players. So that's what this league's all about. In 2 top 20 teams having a chance to play in a marquee game at 2:30 on Saturday.
First up, we have Zach Ellis of Sports Illustrated.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, Johnny gets a lot of the headlines for you guys on offense, and rightfully so. But how important has Mike Evans been to that offense and to Johnny's production this year?
Well, I think I've covered that earlier this year when I suggested that he should be in the Heisman conversation. I think he's had as good a season as any player in college football. Statistically, I think the way he's played, particularly in big games, his numbers are as good as anybody nationally, and very rarely do you get a big receiver like that has as many plus 30-yard catches as he has, besides the first down. So he's definitely one of the better players in the country, and the two of them obviously work well together.
Where do you think this year he's improved off last year?
Excuse me?
Where do you think he's improved as much in his game this season?
Well, he only played 1 year of high school football, number one, and last year was really the first year he played. So he has gotten a lot better. He will continue to get better. I think Mike has gone from a really raw receiver and is really trying to become a better route runner. He's always been a guy who could high point the ball, has been extremely strong. He's worked at where he is physically to still be around that 225, 230-pound mark, and I think he runs a little bit better than people think he does. So his route running has gotten better. He can continue to improve, but his ability to make plays in traffic or in one-on-one coverage, I think, is what's really separated him this year.
Thank you.
Next is Glenn Guilbeau, Gannett, Louisiana.
Hello, Coach. Looking back, do you find it funny that so many people thought Johnny would not have as good a year this year as last for whatever reason?
I never thought that.
Right. I know you didn't, but just from what other people were saying, and one was because he'd be going through the league a second time.
No.
Did it surprise you that people thought he wouldn't duplicate?
No, that didn't surprise me. It's a whole thing that everybody had I think you remember, everybody had a year's worth of tape on us, and I think my reply in the off season was, we've got a year's worth of tape on them too.
Okay. And one of his games that wasn't so good last year was the LSU game. What do you remember LSU doing to be effective, or did Johnny just have an off day?
LSU was extremely effective, and a lot of those players aren't playing in this game Saturday.
All right. Thank you.
Next is Spencer Tillman of CBS Sports.
Coach, to the extent that you're willing to talk about it, how much of what you do remains available to you once you get in the red area? And if so, how much does Johnny's athleticism allows that aspect of your playbook to remain available because of what he's able to do?
Actually, it increases, Spencer, and the fact that we've got different packages all across the field, and particularly in the red zone, you'll see some other things that are really designed to attack a shorter field and condense coverage and different looks. So I think, as you move the football and work up and down the field, obviously the red zone area, becomes a condensed area, and you see different defenses. And we spend a lot of time working that area because, one of the tough things when you are spread out is to get back in. It's natural to get back in and try to, reduce your formations because of the high percentage of blitz that comes once you cross the 20-25-yard line. So, we work an inordinate amount of time based on the number of times that we're in there in practice, and actually I think our offense kind of expands a little bit because of some different things that we do with all positions, not just the quarterback.
Quick follow-up, that expansion, is it a reasonable assumption then that the stellar 73% of the time you're in that red area, you're scoring touchdowns? I mean, that's a phenomenal number. And is that a byproduct of the expanded playbook?
Well, I think we work at it, and I think our quarterback understanding what we're trying to do also helps, and his athleticism. There's no doubt that his athleticism helps and puts pressure on defenses that, sometimes you'd get a drop 8 in condensed areas that you may not be able to get with his ability to get on the perimeter or scramble. And then the other thing too is also the ability to talk to your team about, all right, once we're inside of 25 yards, let's protect the points. And, of those 73%, are we scoring touchdowns or are we scoring how many of those are field goals? And having your quarterback and your team understand that, reaching the ball out or getting one more yard could cost us 3 points and ball security by all players at that point. Making sure that we have the ability to get those 3 points is important. So, players understanding that, and then also, your offensive plan, I think, really give you a chance to have a high percentage because, when you get down there, you got to come away with something. And if you don't, it's demoralizing for your offense, and it's a boost for the other team, period. I mean, their defense and their team.
Fantastic. Excellent stuff. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
This is Chris Lowe of ESPN.com.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Good, Chris.
Hey, I wondered, as you watch Johnny, we almost got an entire body of work behind us this season. As a coach, are you able to sit back and enjoy? I don't think anybody would debate that it's been a long time since we've seen a guy that much fun to watch play. As a coach, can you sort of sit back and enjoy watching him play and all the things that he does?
Well, we enjoy it a little bit better now that we understand what we have. I think people would be lying, or I would be lying to say that when we started this thing last year and named him started 2 weeks before the first game, that you really understood, where he was. And it took us, as I've talked about, really the first 6 or 7 games, really the LSU game a year ago, to say, hey, this guy can handle more than we're giving him. He's able to process things a little bit better as a passer and in the complete offense. And I think, now, people ask, are you coaching him different? I think that he's got a little bit more, not a little bit more, he's got more freedom at the line of scrimmage to change plays, which has enabled him to be able to do things pre-snap instead of post-snap, instead of, if the play's not there, taking off or trying to improvise. So, yeah, I think he's got that element, but, he's also enhanced, I think, his ability to play the position because of his knowledge of our offense, his ability to change plays at the line, and improved mechanics. So, yeah, it's fun to watch, and I've said this before. I think everybody gets to see him on Saturday. The coaches and the players around here don't get surprised too much anymore because as good of things as we see on Saturday, there's some things we see Monday through Friday Friday that are even more amazing.